Okay, to solve these questions, we start by identifying the information for the A. The principal's amount is Ringgit Malaysia 40,000 and interest rate is 3.5% per year. It is compounded 4 times a year and the duration is 5 years. Using the compound interest formula, which is S equals P open bracket 1 plus I close bracket square root n. First, find the interest per period by dividing 0.035 by 4 and then we calculate the total number of compounding periods by multiplying 4 by 5 giving us 20 period. After substituting this value into the formula, the final amount for Bank A becomes Ringgit Malaysia 47,613 and 59 cents. Okay, next we examine Bank B, which also starts with principles of Ringgit Malaysia 40,000, but offers a higher interest rate of 4% per year and compounds 12 times a year for the same durations of 5 years. Again, we apply the same formula by dividing 0.04 by 12 to get the interest per period and multiply 12 by 5 to obtain 60 compounding periods. After substituting this value into the formula, the final amount for Bank B is Ringgit Malaysia 48,839 and 66 cents. So when both results are compared, Bank B clearly gives a higher return. Therefore, Ayrien should choose Bank B because it is provide a better financial return after 5 years.
Hi, so I'll be explaining on how to solve the problem for question 2. The problem in question 2 is they need to find the starting amount, which is X, that needed to end up with 10,000 ringgit after 9 years of interest growth. The growth happened in 2 different stages. And the main idea for both steps is compound interest formula, which is used to calculate how a starting amount grows over time as interest is added. So the first stage is the first 5 years. So for this first stage, we need to calculate how much the starting amount, which is X, grew during the 5 years, which is T, at its 3%, which is K. And then the interest was added quarterly, which is M. And for the second stage, which is the remaining 4 years, we need to calculate the money from the remaining 4 years at a new rate of 4.5%. Interest was added every 2 months. So, after having the 2 stages information, we can use the compound interest formula. So, after having the 2 stages information, we can use the compound interest formula to get the initial amount, which is X is. So after having the 2 stages information, we can use the basic compound interest formula to calculate the total growth across both stages and setting that equal to the final 10,000 ringgit, and it will show that the initial amount, which is X, had to be 11,198 ringgit and 10 cents.
So question 3, part A, determining the total interest earned to solve part A, which is to determine the total interest earned, we calculate the difference between the final amount, which is future value and the initial amount is principal. So the question is, Rudy deposit 16,000 ringgit and after 3 years, the amount grew to 18,500 ringgit. The interest earned donated as I is the final amount S minus the principal P. By calculating 18,500 minus 16,000, we find the total interest earned is 2,500 ringgit. Okay, so part B, finding the interest rate. We use the compound interest formula to find the annual interest rate. We know that time is 3 years and the interest is compound quarterly, which is 4 times a year. We set up the equations is 18,500 equals 16,000 multiplied by 1 plus k divide by 4. Raise the power of 12, which is 3 times 4 equals 12. Next, we divide both sides by 16,000. This leaves 1.15625 on the left side. Okay, now we take the 12th root of the left side. The result is 1.15625 square root 1 by 12. Then, subtract 1 from this number, which leaves 0.01217198373. Finally, we multiply this value by 4 to solve for k. The result for k is 0.0487. Converting this to a percentage, the annual interest rate is 4.87%.
Now I will be explaining on how to solve the problem on question 4. So, the first question in number 4, which is 4A, the first thing you need to do is find the down payment, cash price, and balance. After getting the balance answer, which is 742,000 ringgit, then we can use the annuity formula. The information that are given in the question to solve the first problem is K is 4.6%, T is 30 years, M is quarterly. So, after putting all of the information in the annuity formula, you will get the answer, which is 3,802 ringgit and 82 cents. The next question is 4B. First thing you should do in this question is multiply the monthly payment by the total number of payment. Then, subtract the original amount borrowed from the total paid. So, the total interest would be 627,325 and 20 cents. Then question 4C, you need to find the remaining loan balance. The first thing you should do is subtract the payment made from the total payment. Then you will get the 72 payments left to make. Then you can use the loan formula. So, the remaining balance on the loan will be 238,932 ringgit and 73 cents. Then you will be using the loan formula again. So, the last question is question 4D. In this question, we will use the future value of an ordinary annuity formula to find out what a series of equal deposits will grow to. It calculates the final amount of 6 deposits of 3,802 ringgit 82 cents each. Then, the final answer will be 23,042 ringgit and 76 cents.
So I will explain how to calculate the repayment period for a loan using the present value of an annuity formula. We are given the cash price of 18,999 ringgit. A 15% down payment is required. So when we calculate, the down payment is 2,849.85 ringgit. Then we subtract the down payment from the cash price. The balance will be 16,149.15 ringgit, so that is the amount that will be financed. The interest rate is 5.25% per year and will be compounded monthly. The monthly installment is 488 ringgit. So we want to find the time T in years. To find the repayment time, I use the present value of an annuity formula. First, I multiply the amount financed by 0.0525 fraction 12, then I divide by 488 ringgit. Then I simplify the equation step by step. Finally, to get t out of the exponent, we must use log on both sides. Then I divide both sides to isolate t. When I calculate, t is 2.99 years, so the repayment period is approximately 3 years.